Hi, people. How are you? It's a big surprise, huh? Hi. Hi, you guys. Happy almost 4th. Hi, Gin Masters. Lisa, everybody needs to turn to ESPN and watch the American Cornhole League finals. I bet you know about cornhole, don't you, Lisa? You guys, I know you didn't expect to see me today, and I didn't expect to come on, okay? But, this is not going to be... Hi, Greta! How are you, darling? You guys... Oh, Rick, you're in Puerto Vallarta. Well, good for you, honey. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, Maya. Hi, Sancheesy. Hi, everybody. This is a different show for me today, okay? I came across something on TikTok, and I just wanted to share it, okay? And I wanted to talk about it, okay? So here we go. Yeah, you guys, I did a different look. Marquina has been... she wants me to wear... This is funny. This was a request from Marquina. I want you to wear less makeup, but I want you to be glamorous still. Like, really, how do you... So all I did was put on big eyelashes and lipstick. Maybe I can get away with it. I don't know. But I like my makeup. But this is actually kind of easy. You guys, I'm going to play you a video, and then I'm going to ask you about it, and then maybe we'll go piece by piece through the video and talk about it, okay? Because I just think people should see this, okay? So here we go. And I'm also showing off some new technology that I found out that I had that I never used, okay? So here we go. I'd still have sex with you. Thank you, honey. You ready? Here we go.
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago, and I've only come out to a few people. I'm a guy. I used to be named pronouns, and I'm gonna go by Theo. Yeah. I told my mom today, and I have to go home every day and be called my dead name and have she/her pronouns used every time I go home. And no one realizes how hurtful it is. It's like a slap in the face. And I dyed my hair last night so I could feel more masculine, and I was afraid I was going to get thrown out of the house. We love you, Theo.
Okay, you guys. So, I don't know how many of you have seen that video before on TikTok.
Like, where?
It's quite a popular video, okay? Now, this is what I don't understand about this video. This person who says, I'm a guy, clearly has a gunt, okay? Oh, God, how will Theo go on with such a tyrant as a parent? Now, Theo, which I'm assuming is short for Theodore, okay, Theo just said, I just realized this a few days ago. Okay, so at least 3 days. Okay, so 3 to 5 days ago, Theo decided I am coming out as Theo. Okay, now Theo also says I'm gonna have to go home and be called my dead name. Theo just decided that their name was Theo. They have no idea how the rest of the the experience is going to go. Thank you, Marion. Thank you. Now, I want to point out something about that video that just really got to me. Hold on. I'm still getting to learn about, the new technology that I stumbled upon.
So, I was thinking.
I've been looking at mattresses online.
The ones that come in a box?
No, a Safa. The rest make...
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago, and I've only come out to a few people. I'm a guy.
Okay, now look at the fupa, look at the gunt. Now, I want you to notice the old lady next to Theo. She doesn't know what to do. I know look at this guy walking up behind Theo. He's there to get attention. That's all he's there for. He wants attention. Okay? Now watch the other girl. Look at this one. Oh my God. Oh, it's so cringy.
He called my dead name.
He called my dead name.
She/her pronouns used every time I go home. And no one realizes how hurtful it is. It's like a slap in the face.
It is.
And I dyed my hair last night so I could feel more masculine, and I was afraid I was going to get thrown grown out of that.
Theo even dyed his hair last night blue so everybody would know how masculine he is. Did you guys understand that? I mean, did it even make sense that because I am a man, I'm a guy. No, Theo said I'm a guy. I am a guy. Wanted to feel a little more masculine. Okay? I couldn't imagine why he would want to feel a little more masculine. I mean, maybe go to a bar and drink some whiskey and get in a fight and smoke a cigar or something, Theo. You don't get more masculine by dyeing your hair blue. I don't understand. I can't concentrate. Well, oh my God, Patty, you're so sweet. So I want to understand why Theo has it in his head that one must dye their hair to feel a little more masculine. Oh, thank you, Laura. I appreciate it, dear. So I don't know. I just thought, first of all, that lady standing next to Theo looks like she's straight out of like a 60s family sitcom. I mean, the way she was dressed, she looked so out of place. But what I want to, do you think it's like a past life realization? I'm not sure. No, I think it's just attention. That's it. I have a feeling Theo is probably going to get pregnant in the next 5 years. That's what I think. I think he's going to get pregnant in the next 5 years because I love this. Oh, thank you. I just threw it on real quick. I didn't want to come on looking all dumpy or anything. Blue represents male. Oh, that's right. Okay, George. That's obvious. Why didn't I realize that? That dyeing the hair blue is an obvious indication that you're a man. And it actually reinforces your masculinity. Like Theo said. She was wondering what the hell is going on, right? Right, Laura? Let's look at that again. Now pay attention to the lady in pink to the right of the screen.
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago and I've only come out to a few people.
I mean, this is 2021. Look at her.
I'm a guy.
And what an awkward pause. You know what I mean? I'm a guy. 10 seconds go by, then everybody applauds. And why are we applaud? Why is that something you applaud? You go, okay, you're a man.
I told my mom today, and I have to go home every day.
Okay.
And be called my dad.
So Theo just said, I just found out a few days ago that I'm a guy. Now I have to go home and be called my dead name by my mom. Sweetheart, your mother gave you your name. How else do you think she's going to react? Like, really, what you tell me, Theo, which Theo is probably a form of her name. It's like, Theo, what do you really think that it's normal that a person comes home to the people who are supporting them for the past 18 plus years? Oh, this lady squeezes you, pushes you, launches you out of her vagina. And then you're going to go home and say, hey, honey, guess what? I've decided I'm Theo now. And you better not call me my dead name or you're a transphobe. I mean, could you just imagine that? Imagine that conversation. Imagine, I just couldn't imagine it. And then she would be labeled as a bad person. I'd be like, sweetheart, I held you in my uterus. I pushed you out of my vagina. I named you. I raised you. I fed you. I clothed you. And you're going to sit here and then come home to me after 3 days of believing you're a guy. And then you're going to get mad at me if I just don't all of a sudden call you a guy and Theo. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's why you kick them out of the house. You don't kick them out of the house because they're trans or gay. You kick them out of the house for being an asshole. Okay. Theo is probably from Sabrina. Oh, probably. Oh, Chaz says, dead name has chosen to become the oppressive patriarchy. Dead name is now a monster name. Theo, right. So what I wonder, is Theo going to, like, all of a sudden realize male privilege? Is that what's going to happen? And will Theo take advantage of that male privilege? That's what I'd like to know. I think these are great questions. Martin says, oh my, your goatee is looking on fire. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Martin. How are you, dear? Hold on. That's such a new way of putting it, launching it out of the vag. So mom has had 3 to 5 days to adjust. No, I think mom has had 1 day. Mom has only had 1 day because Theo has just realized it a few days ago. I believe it was last night that Theo revealed their true identity to their mother after all these years. Hoggy, honest question from a fan that adores you. I think you have received backlash for how you think and how you live. Why not live and let live? I agree, live and let live. I am letting Theo live, and I'm living. From a fan that adores you, I think you have received, oh, sweetheart, backlash? You think I've received backlash. Oh, I know I have. I know. Honey, I have no problem. I have no problems with what I say. Oh, the blonde eyebrow is definitely a thing. You know what? I need to. You know what? Maybe I got to do like the platinum eyebrows. Psychologically, the human brain isn't done growing until about 25, right? Remember when rebelling was just tattoos and punk rock music? Where we no longer have an opinion without criminalizing. Jay, that's very smart. Yes, I agree. Yes, I have. I have received backlash, Susan. Yeah, I'm going back to Susan, aren't I? Yeah, I have. Of course I have. I mean, backlash is not necessarily a negative thing. I don't think it's negative. Blonde is my color. Thank you. You guys will notice I have a little bit of a tan, or what I would call a tan. I was at the beach. Do you need to have a staying female party reveal that I'm... You know what, Lisa? You know what? I think everybody should just have a gender reveal party. Because honestly, have any of us really revealed our gender to the world? I mean, Lisa, have you ever come out of your house and said, everybody, I'm a woman? You know, I think you owe that to the world. You know what? You like my hair? Who's Theo? Nessie, I'm going to show you who Theo is, okay? And you know what? It might be a little transphobic of you for not knowing who Theo is. Here we go.
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago, and I've only come out to a few people. I'm a guy. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm gonna go by Theo. Yeah. I told my mom today.
Look at the attention whore. Look at her. Even a bigger one than Theo.
My dead name and have she/her pronouns used every time I go home, and no one realizes how hurtful it is. It's like a slap in the face. And I dyed my hair last night so I could feel more masculine.
Yes.
And I was afraid I was going to get thrown out of the house. We love you, Theo.
Now, I want you to notice that Theo didn't say. Now, Theo, for some reason, did not get like a flat top or a comb over or anything. Theo decided that he was going to be a man with a woman's haircut dyed blue. Interesting. If you want to feel more masculine, sweetheart, shave your head. Why don't you shave your head? Why don't you do that? That dude, Theo, is kind of thick. Looks like, oh, Sancheesy Loco. I said Theo's going to be pregnant in 5 years. Okay? I bet she has those he has those childbearing hips and a camel toe, right? And really, for such a young man to have a camel toe, let's get a lot of use out of that toe, you know? Grandma is squeezing her hands, trying not to pass out from shock. Right, Laura? Because if she passed out, she would be transphobic. And they would probably all gather around her and kick her in the head for being evil and denying their existence. I have no personality. I'm going to identify as something opposite of me. You know what I've decided, people? Why? I love it how these people are so... they limit themselves. They limit themselves to one gender. I'm all genders, okay? I'm all genders. So I have them beat. I have them beat, okay? Really, how common? How boring. You're one gender? Play it again. I was busy typing. Here we go. You guys, it never gets old. It really doesn't. Okay, hold on.
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago, and I've only come out to a few people.
Right. They realized a few days ago.
I'm a guy.
A guy.
I use the he/they pronouns, and I'm gonna go by Theo.
For the past 3 days, this has been a revelation in the last 3 days.
I told my mom
Today, told the mom.
that I have to go home every day
Every day.
and be called my dead name and have she/her pronouns used every time I go home. And no one realizes how hurtful it is. It's like a slap in the face. And I dyed my hair last night so I could feel more masculine, and I was afraid I was going to get thrown out of the house. We love you, Theo.
Now, I'm going to let you guys know something. There has never been a time in my life, anyway, that I have dyed my hair an unnatural color to feel more masculine. Oh, Greta, you're so sweet. Thank you. Now, if you notice, okay, so Theo decided or realized 3 days ago he was a man. Today, he told his mother, I'm a guy and my name is Theo. And then she said, every day I have to go home and be misgendered and be given the wrong pronouns. So basically, mom just found out that she has a son named Theo rather than a daughter named who knows, Thelma. We'll say, I'm just going to imagine that her name is Thelma. Hi, Liz. So it's like she's already saying, I have to go home every day and being called by my dead name. Well, you know, sweetheart, just because Theo is alive doesn't mean that your mom's daughter is dead. Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem with people who these are the people who come out. Okay, this is the problem when people come out. Gay, whatever. When you come out, good. That's you coming out. Okay, but just because you come out, it doesn't mean that the rest of the world is there for you. Or because you know what, with you finding your new self, okay, well, that means there has been a death for other people. Okay, so why don't you have a little bit of class, okay, and have a little sympathy for these people that have lost their beautiful little girl, their little princess, okay? So why don't you have a little class and a little decency and a little humanity, okay? Do that. Then I would respect you. Okay. I'm never going to survive. Oh, Lisa, yes, Thelma. Theodora is the feminine. But you know what? My daughter's imaginary siblings are Isaac and Thelma. We tucked them into bed for 4 years. Right? It goes both ways. It goes. I just love the way it's always the person with the colorful hair that gets all the sympathy and all of the support. A whole family has lost somebody. Okay, because if you now emerge as a new person, then they have lost a person. Correct? They have. So how come there's absolutely no sympathy for that at all? That filter Nessie, I'm not using a filter. Wait. Look you can see my age spots. Look on my forehead. It's just light. Thelma wants to put one in Louise. Oh, thank you. Lisa remembers. You guys, I am a reverend. Did you know that? I'm Reverend Hogatha. And this doesn't mean I would totally marry trans people. I'm just saying there's more to it than you putting on your flag and coming out as Theo, okay? I get it. You're living your best life. You were on stage at that moment. Everybody gave you all the support that they could muster up. I get it. I get it. I'm a trans man, and I don't think anyone can speak unless you live this life. I've always felt made since a child. Oh, wait, let's talk about this. I've always felt mad since a child, and I know who I am. I went from female to male. Parker, no one judged you. No one judged you at all. You have that right to do that. All I am saying is the people that are destroyed by the person who has now come out as something else, you don't think they deserve any kind of respect or any kind of attention at all? Like, is it really just all about you? Or do you not care about your family? Because if for a lot of people, that's what it seems like. They don't give a shit about their family. And for 1 second, if Theo thinks that all of those people around him that are supporting him are going to be there for the rest of his life, he better think again, okay? Young people tend to make a lot of mistakes like that, okay? Because you know what? In the end, you're honestly by yourself. In the end, you are. But the thing is, all of those people matter just as much as Theo and just as much as you, Parker. You matter just as much as everybody else, but no more than anybody else. I don't matter more than anybody else just because who I am. I don't sit there and take center stage in family events and have everybody listen to my story about my gender or my sex or my whatever, because it's more than just me, okay? So, Parker, I don't know if you had a similar experience in Theo. I hope not. I hope it worked wonderfully for you. But you're not the only one that matters, okay? And I'm not judging anybody. I'm just pointing out facts. Susan Lopez says, my son is a fab, and he cared about our feelings. It had internal struggles of hurting us by coming out, but was exhausted mentally from hiding it. I care about my family, but let me give this as an example. Would you say that someone doesn't care about their family if your family doesn't agree? No. But you know what? I also know that it's not the end of the world either. Do you think that everybody agrees with what I do? No. I have people in my family who don't agree with what I do. I have family that don't speak to me anymore. And it's not even because of this. It's because of my political beliefs, which is stupid. I haven't had anybody disown me because my partner is black. I haven't had that yet. But yes, I have been judged because of my sexuality. And I'm okay with that. I don't need everybody to agree with what I do. And that's the problem. There are young people out there who think that everybody has to agree and support them. And no, they don't have to. I am friends with people who think homosexuality is an abomination. And you know what? These people have treated me way better than anybody in the LGBTQ community. You know, it's Hockey, you just love controversy. Well, no, I don't think that I'm doing anything that's wrong. I don't think I'm saying anything that's wrong or fake or false. Just like when people were all into like boycotting Chick-fil-A, do you think that Chick-fil-A doesn't employ any homosexuals or LGBTQ people? I mean, of course they do. We're everywhere. And just because, say, an organization does not support homosexual sex or transgenderism, I don't care. The majority of the world doesn't agree with it. They don't agree with it. I don't care. I'm living my life, not their life. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so easy for me to do what I do and not give a shit about what anybody thinks on either side. Because I'm a 51-year-old person, and I've been through it all. Okay? And I have the nerve and the guts to do this. And if you don't have it, let's put it this way. If you cannot handle the criticism, then you shouldn't do something like this, okay? Only strong people can go out there and be themselves and survive and not shed a tear. I see what you're saying, Hagi. I respect your line of thinking. Because your line of thinking is something you develop because of right. I mean, there are people. Okay, in high school, I couldn't I can't imagine the monster I would be right now if people actually gave me a parade for coming out, or if I was completely accepted in high school for all the things that I did and the way I dressed and the way I looked. I don't know what kind of person I'd be then, but because I had so much, I guess, negativity thrown toward me to where I had to rise above that constantly, it has made me a strong person. These kids that now come out and they have parades and they have everybody telling them how stunning and brave and wonderful they are not going to be prepared when they get out in the real world at all. They're not going to be prepared. They're getting a false sense of security because they could be loved and pampered all they want at home. But then they're going to get out in the real world and realize, wow, there's diversity out here. There's diversity in the real world. And that diversity isn't always positive. You have to be prepared for that. And I don't think people are prepared for that nowadays. But that being said, I don't care if anybody's trans or not. I think we make a big deal. In fact, there's too much of a deal made of it. Just shut up about it, be trans, and go on. I mean, I don't understand. If people just want to blend into society and just be normal people and be treated with respect, then why don't you just do it? I don't understand why you have to announce it to the world. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Why announce it to the world? Why make a big deal? Why demand that people love you and agree with you? Why demand that? I don't get it. I mean, according to them, trans people have been around forever. Okay. They've been around forever. Greta says, my trans cousin did not receive one call or visit from the LGBTQ friends the entire last year he spent dying from AIDS. It was his family and Christian friends who nursed him. And honey, I completely believe you. I have never met a more toxic, judgmental, and frankly, racist community than the LGBTQ community. They're extremely toxic. They are. I'm a transsexual and I don't need special rights. There's only two genders and that's awesome. See, Steinman's awesome. I know several trans people like that because I am a friend to trans people. I'm just not impressed with your I'm not impressed with it. Why should I be impressed with it? I don't care. In fact, one of my favorite people, trans people that I knew was a guy I worked with. Okay, let's put it this way. We worked in a gay club together. I thought he was absolutely hot, stunning, good-looking guy. Had bigger muscles than me. Was shorter than me. Had a nice bone structure face. Was very good-looking guy. And I got in a conversation with one time, and the whole idea of being gay came up. And he said, "No, I'm a heterosexual." I said, "Really?" I knew that there was something else there because you can't help what you see. You can't, okay? And sorry, nature gave us that ability to see things. But I'm thinking, no, he's gay or something. There is something not 100% heterosexual about this person. Through conversations, he then revealed to me that he is a trans man. And I'm like, wow, you look really good, really, really good. And we became friends, and we never talked about it again. That was it. I don't understand the constant shoving it down people's throats. I don't get that. Most of these new gays are arrogant and entitled because they never had to go right. Right. They don't know what it's like to the hiding, the rejection. I did that for years. And I went through denial too, because then everybody's pointing their finger and calling me a fag. I denied it. Yes, the toxic media is terrible. Terrible. So I don't understand. What are these people going to do? It's like, do you have any other skill or anything about your personality that anybody can connect with other than the fact that you're trans? Anything? I'd love to connect with people on things other than their sex life or their gender. Because aren't those supposed to be things that are private? Like, who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Nobody gives a shit. Okay. Nobody cares. So I just wanted to share that TikTok that I came across with you guys. It was just, I saw it and I thought it was honestly the most cringy thing I had ever seen. That pride thingy is weird. Being gay is not, it's not an achievement. Being trans isn't an achievement. You've just said, I am not the gender I was born with, and I'm changing it. And that's virtually all it is. The only way their message will change their minds is when people discuss it on a national level, and people will change their minds. You know what? I'll tell you what. Hi, Jessica. There are people out there, and I'm going to tell you this. The LGBTQ community completely ignores these people and actually gives them hate. The people who transition back. Yeah, there are many people who transition back, and there are people who have transitioned as children who now are resentful to their parents. So all you parents, think about that, okay? All of you parents, if you're dealing with this, I want you to go on YouTube, and I want you to look up the people who have detransitioned, okay? And listen to their stories. Do you want to know what they're angry about? They're angry because their parents and the doctors did not fight back. And they actually, and it's funny, they have the mindset, they know, and they go, this is what they say, that I'm a child and these adults are not pushing back on my ideas and my thoughts. You depend on adults. We rely on adults for that. Okay? So just think about that. So you're either, as your child comes out trans, you have two chances of being completely shit on by those people. They're either A, going to get mad at you because you don't accept them as trans, or B, they can come back years later and blame you for them being trans. Okay? Just like we're seeing right now. I don't know how many of you people have seen this. A lot of it's always white people who adopt children that are Black, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever. You now have a population of these ungrateful pieces of shit that are coming back and saying, my white parents couldn't give me the upbringing that I should have had. Well, you know what? Why don't you blame your crackhead mom that didn't take care of you? Okay? Why don't you blame your biological mom who dropped you off at the fire station? Blame her. You should be nothing but grateful for those people that selected you and took care of you. Think about that. I'm getting really, really, really annoyed with people today. Really annoyed. I'm a 50-year-old Gen X gay. I'm with you. I say I'm gay, not LGBT. Right. I'm not an alphabet. I'm not part of a never-ending acronym. I'm just not in there. I'm not. Okay. That is a cult. Okay. That is a cult. Oh, thank you, Liv. You got to grow into who you're going to be. I had my sex change 25 years ago, and I love it. For me, that's great. And you know, there are people who absolutely love it, and they live in it every day, and they're just normal people. We have to make a difference between transgender people, gay people, and crazy people. Okay? They are lumping the crazies in with us, and I don't appreciate that at all. That's why I have decided to not be a part of that acronym. I'm just not part of it. My mother is adopted. She is one of the ungrateful ones. Really, Liv. Like what I know, there are people who have some, they romanticize about what could have been if their mother wasn't a piece of shit. I don't want to say that. I know there are people who are giving up for adoption for other reasons. I'm just being an asshole. But seriously, how in the hell Can anybody blame people? Now, I'm not saying, of course, there are adopted children, there are foster children who are abused. They are not exempt from being abused. I understand that. But there are people who have had really good upbringings in higher income brackets than their biological parents could have given them. And they raised them. They come at, they're healthy, they're whatever, they're successful. But for some reason, they're angry because their mom didn't know how to braid their hair. I mean, is that how petty life has become? For my work, they're teaching us about death naming. Did you ever hear? Wait, death naming? You mean like say if I decide to not be Hogatha anymore and I decide to be John, Hogatha is my death name, and so if you call me Hogatha, I might kill myself. Is it along those lines? I think what is being not understood is that this whole thing is completely upside down. Fighting for the rights of LGBT people can actually contribute to the destruction of this community. Well, it's already happening. I have friends that are going to be protesting in Los Angeles today because there was a penis in a vagina area. Okay? So I couldn't even write a story like this. I just couldn't. Like, okay, I want to ask my trans people, because it's obvious I have a few in here. Oh, my wig is slipping. Now, from what I've understand from my other trans friends, you pretty much, if you're become a female and you have a penis, you're kind of ashamed of that penis. You're dysphoric against that body part. So you don't go around showing it and flaunting it to people. So what I want to understand is there a whole different mindset now that I don't know about, that you just accept your penis and you love it and you want to flaunt it in other female areas that have 99% vaginas in it? Like, is that honestly acceptable to the trans community? Like, really? I mean, they can't be that dumb. It's like me. Okay, I'm very sensitive to what the average person thinks, okay? I don't, as a homosexual person, and it's no different. There are heterosexuals who believe this too. I don't think it's proper for me to go into an area of average common people and make out with Marquina. I don't think that's acceptable. That's just me. Okay? Now, I understand that there are people, gay and straight, who will completely flaunt their love and lust for the person they're with in public. Okay? It's uncomfortable. And I'm just not that person that does that. Yes, there's a difference between a transgender and a transvestite. Transgender people don't flaunt their stuff, and most of us don't even have sex. Right, Parker? That is my understanding about the average true transgendered person. But we just happened in Los Angeles, there was a trans woman who went into a spa that is not co-ed, and she went to the female section and decided to get nude around all the other women. Now, I don't think that person was a real transgender person. Because if they were, they would be dysphoric over their body, and they wouldn't want their penis to be seen by these other women. That's what I thought. That's how I thought it would be. But I guess not. So that spa would not take care of or address it with the heterosexual biological woman who said, wait a minute, me and my daughter are in the female area and someone with a penis is walking around and exposing themselves. And then they said, well, it's a trans woman. It's a trans woman. So you know what? I think the trans community has to bear a little responsibility there, and they need to come to whoever is in charge of the LGBTQ community. I still don't know who is. Need to say, you know what? Us transgender people, we're very visible now and people know about us. Maybe we could have a little class and not expose our genitals. Even that would be me. Honestly, that would be me. I wouldn't want to bother everybody with my penis, so I would hide it. I'd probably wear panties and tuck it, or just leave a robe on, or wear a sarong skirt, or tie something around. If you're passing as a female, other than having a penis, why would you want to do that to people? The person did it for attention to cause issues. Mine is the same, blames me for her life being crap. I put her out nearly 20 years ago, best thing I ever did. That's terrible. That spa person might have been trying to make people feel uncomfortable because they like that. Well, you know what? I'll tell you, I went and I looked at their page. They had a ton of horrible reviews. Of course, it's all spam and it's all, people trolling. But the funny thing is Google went in and removed all of it. Is there a president alphabet? So how do we go to the spa? Who? Biological women or trans women? There are spas out there that cater to just LGBTQ people. How about that? I mean, certainly the LGBTQ community, they wouldn't want heterosexuals bringing their families in, would they? Would we? Would we want that? I mean, just like there's a reason why there's gay clubs. I don't think a lot of men who are in the nightclubs, the heterosexual dance nightclubs, would want to see go-go boys running around with erections. That's why they have separate clubs. Oh, trans people? Well, darling, if I have a penis and I want to go in an all vagina area, I would probably hide my penis. That's just me. And I wouldn't think that it was an inconvenience. I wouldn't want to inconvenience the majority. See, you'll have 100 women together and with all vaginas. Then you have one with a penis. You're expecting those 99 to all pretend that the penis isn't there. I mean, why would you want to do that? Like, why would you want to risk making even 50% of the 99 women? Even 49 out of them will be upset. I'm just not going to do that to people. That's just not what I do. Okay. Now there are people out there who may go ahead and want to upset others. I mean, I upset people too in a different way. But I think that when you're a paying customer in real life, not on the internet, when you are a real person in real life and you're going to an area where it is completely understood that this area is for people who have vaginas. And we all know that's what it means when it says men and women. Penises and vaginas. We know that. We could pretend all we want, but we know exactly what that means. They don't want to see a penis in the vagina area. So I would hide my penis if I wanted to be in the vagina area. To me, it seems very simple. It seems respectful. It ensures your safety, right? It ensures yours. Because trans people always love to talk about safety. Oh, I feel unsafe. It's unsafe to do this. Well, if you don't expose your penis in an all vagina area, then you have no reason to be fearful, right? I mean, at some point we're going to have to reel this in and say, okay, yeah, us as LGBTQ people, we have a little responsibility here. Okay. And I think that we should all be responsible. I love going to gay clubs, even though I'm not gay. I like the attention they give me. Oh yeah. You ladies, you want attention? You go to a gay club. A man will love you and they'll respect you and everything. They'll even be sexual with you. They'll flirt with you. They just won't go home and have sex with you. I wish someone would tell the truth about the LGBTQ. If we wrote a book, we would have to hide. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a performance at a club coming up on the 16th. There's a part of me that's afraid of what's going to happen because I have been somewhat pushed out of the community. A lot of people don't like me. because I just don't go along with them. It's so funny. It seems like everybody in the LGBTQ community all kind of think with the same brain. How can you get that many people to think with the same brain? It's really strange. I just don't think with that same brain. So for you to be comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable. What? So for the honey, SM, I don't get this at all. So for you to be comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable seeing your penis. Right. See, because you going into an area with different genitals than the majority, that is supposed to really make you feel dysphoric about your penis, according to the community. They hate their penis. They hate it. Okay. So they're embarrassed by it. They don't like having it. They don't touch it. They don't touch it sexually because it makes them sick. So why would you expose it and sit there with your legs open so your balls and your dick hang out so all the women can look at it? Like, that's a deliberate act. That's a deliberate act. Can you highlight what you just read? Oh, yeah, I have it on the screen. You found love here. A friend of mine and I talk all the time about the hive mind politics idea, and it is. I don't get it. You know what it is? They're really, I'll tell you, the hive mind is filled with people who don't have thoughts of their own. They're not brave people at all. They're not. They're cowards. What they are is there's a pack of sheep, and they're right in the center of it as they're all walking together. So they're all protected in the center. So they don't have to think for themselves. Not all trans people. Chris, I know that. I know that not all trans people hate their genitals. I've seen porn. Yeah, there's some that absolutely love it. But they also have to understand that the world, that if you go into a gym, the people who have a vagina, they have a separate section for a reason. They don't want to see the penises. They don't want the intermingling, okay? I mean, come on. You should understand that, right? Or I think, I'm not you specifically. We should understand that as people. I mean, we certainly support Black people segregating themselves, don't we? We completely support that. No one's going to say they can't do that, even though we may not like it. We may think it's backwards that they have like separate Black proms. So even gays do it. They have gay proms, whatever. You can go ahead and segregate yourself all you want. But remember, there are people who don't want you in their space either. Okay? People create their safe space, but they still want to interject themselves in other people's spaces, okay? So yes, this side of the building has vaginas, this side of the building has penises, and we can argue that that's old all we want, but there's a reason for it, and we all know why. So the people in the penis area do not expect to see a vagina, and they might have a different reaction if there was one. You know, they might think that, oh, they're in here for sex. They're in here to show off. They want some. And I understand why they would say that. Then you have the women, the vagina owners who are now have the penis flaunted in front of them in their section where they're supposed to be comfortable. What are they supposed to think? This is a pervert. Naturally, they're going to think that. And I think trans people should understand that and have a little bit of class and empathy and compassion that they want others to show them. Okay. If I am in an all-female area on purpose, I'm there for a reason. That's my safe space. I don't expect to see a flopping dong walking past me or sitting down in front of me with their legs open. I don't think that's unreasonable. I just don't. The West is the new USSR. I think the worst people in the world today is woke white people. Steinman, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. I feel rapey now, Robert. Huge ass, are you in here? Has anybody seen Huge Ass? Kara Duke, intersex people are born with both. Should they hide? Okay, Alberto, you want to bring up? See, this is always what they bring up. Intersexed people. So what they do is, okay, what these LGBTQ cult members do, and I'm not saying it's that you are, Alberto. I'm not familiar with who you are. But what they do is, once the argument starts going and the conversation starts going, you know what they do? They then use handicapped people. They use intersex people who were born without genitals or with genitals or half of each or whatever. They're just not born like the rest of us and average people where it's completely clear. But Albert, why don't you also state what are the statistics against that? Like, really, how many people are born that way? And why do you have to build a society and a mindset around 1% of people? Like, I don't get that. Like, why would we do that? What's up, Anthony? How are you? I just finished watching Ollie London's coming out video. He's apparently trans Korean. I heard of him. Yeah, and you know what? People will make fun of him and talk shit about him all day long. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what they think, right? He believes he is transracial and he's Korean now. Doesn't he deserve respect and support and your tolerance? Not to mention only 1% of the world. Right, B-Doll. See, that's what they do. This is what the LGBTQ community always goes to. Whenever they feel like they can't stand on their own views and just accept, yeah, I'm trans. You know what they'll never do? They'll never say, I'm trans. Fuck you, get over it. They'll never say that because they want you to accept them. They want you to tolerate them. They want you to love them. That's their problem. If you're gay, if you're transsexual, then do it and shut up. Just shut up. Am I trans African? No, I'm 100% African. No, I'm sorry, I'm 1%. See, and I'm going to tell you, vegan fluid, I agree with you too. All of a sudden, normal, average people are being labeled as cisgendered. I don't get that. Like, just because somebody wants to be transsexual, why do you have to be cisgendered? They've completely placed a label on you. Basically, everything that they claim that they receive in life, they actually give out. It's like, oh, so I'm just not a man. I'm now cisgendered because you decided that you weren't just a man. You're transsexual. So now you have to label me as cisgendered. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm good. I just saw a trans woman win Miss USA. That's rather interesting. Well, you know, the patriarchy is taking over. I mean, come on. So you can call Miss, is it Nevada? You can call her a woman all she wants. She's a trans woman. And for her to be a trans woman, she had to have been a man, right? So if you're a trans woman, you had to be a man. So the man became a woman and then won the thing, right? This is the patriarchy. The patriarchy is taking over female places. They are. I mean, you can't argue that. You can't look at that. How can you not look at it? Humans that are born as a male are now becoming female and they are excelling and they are taking over, in some cases, biological women. That's the patriarchy. The patriarchy, it's like saying, I can be a better woman than you. And they are doing it. The intersectional place of worship is Starbucks. It's not equality if you demand that everybody... Wait. It's not equality if you demand that everyone to tiptoe. Oh, God, no. That's not equality at all. Greta says, I would never have the stamina to be in the LGBTQ activist community. I'm just listening. Right. It's exhausting. And they go in circles and they go in circles. That's all they do. This is both wild and disappointing at the same time. Really? Wait a minute. Cisgendered has been around for decades. Okay. So you're saying over what decades? Over what? It's over 20 years, right? Because a decade is 20 years or 10 years. You said decades. So it's been around for 20 years. Okay. So let's look at the origin of cisgender. But you are admitting it's a fairly new term, right? Hold on. Okay. The term cisgender combines Latin prefix cis, meaning on this side, with gender, in contrast to transgender. Okay. Now, that's the funny thing is, what came first, transgender or cisgender? Cisgender was coined in academic journal articles in the 1990s. Okay. So it has been just over 20 years. Okay. It started to gain broader popularity from around 2007 when transgender theorist Julia Serrano discussed it in her book. Okay, so it has been a wide term for what, 13, 14 years. And it has been a word that was coined in the 1990s, okay? And you think that was a long time? So do you think that society should just jump on it because some activist created the word in the 1990s? Just because you make up a word doesn't mean the rest of us have to follow it. I mean, seriously. I mean, look at me. I'm obviously not a heterosexual person, but even I can agree that just because some activists decided to call average human Homo sapiens who breed cisgendered people, it doesn't mean that they have to accept that label. I mean, I didn't accept the label of faggot. I've never heard of cisgender. See, you didn't even spell it right. You don't even know it. It's CIS. No idea what cisgender means. You know what, Mr. Invisible? You know what it means? It means that when you were born, you had a penis, and the doctor said, this human has a penis, therefore it's a male. And you now live as a man. Basically, whatever the doctor assigned you a gender. Okay, so you live as that assigned gender. What, because you're a sheep? You do as you're told? I don't know. Anyway, you're a cisgendered man. Okay, if you are not, if your brain matches your genitals, then that's what you are, and you're cisgendered. I absolutely love misgendering people. They go crazy. You know what? I'll tell you what, Steinman. Okay, so you all know that I was raised as a boy. Okay. When I was a little boy, even up until my 20s, people called me ma'am on the phone, and they called me ma'am in the drive-thru when I would order food. Did it bother me? Yes. But do you know why it bothered me? It's because I knew I sounded like a girl. And of course I knew I sounded like a girl because everybody assumed I sounded like a girl, or they thought I was a girl when I would pick up the phone, or anytime they didn't see my face and they would hear my voice. Okay? So I didn't like it, but I knew people weren't being mean to me. They just honestly thought that I was a girl because I had all the markers of a female at that moment when they would hear me. And then when they would see me when I drive up to the drive-thru, they would go, sometimes, not all the time, they'd go, oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes they would. I didn't need the sorry because I know what they heard. They heard a girl. Why am I going to get mad at that? Why would I get mad at that? Transgender people have been around, yes, for centuries. Yes, exactly. So if they've been around for centuries, then why are they being shoved down our throat? And why are they completely trying to indoctrinate children into the lifestyle? If it's been around for centuries, then we don't have to indoctrinate our children. Nature will do it for them. Transgender people have been around for centuries, and there is a lot of research behind non-westernized tribes and cultures. Colonization, okay, has redirected social norms and expectations. Okay, Chris, Chris J. Photo. Okay, so you talked about Western world. Okay, so then where are they better in? Okay, you've said this about the Western world. So which other world are they accepted? Which other world is it better for them? Colonization has redirected social norms and I want to know, like in Africa, are they transgender? Do they have transgender tribes? Well, in the Middle East, how do they deal with the transgender issue there? I sound like a geezer. Sometimes my voice is so deep. Right. So you're going to go up to the other. They're going to think they're going to call you ma'am, aren't they? Parker says, well, if haters didn't allow gays to get married, you wouldn't be married today. Stonewall riot had okay. You're already, okay. By saying Stonewall, what he is doing, he is telling you the revised history of Stonewall. Okay. That's what he's doing. They want to put a black, you forgot to say black trans woman. They want to elevate that black trans woman so bad. But the thing is, they weren't called transgender. They were transvestites and they were drag queens. And they didn't live as women. Okay. And there were many more people than that one trans woman that were there and who were fighting for their rights. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have fought, but the fight's over. Okay. We are acting like it's 1969 now when we have more rights than ever. So I don't understand that. It's like as people are softening up and they are accepting or tolerating the community, why are they tightening the screws even tighter? I don't get it. Stonewall riot had a trans woman fight for your rights. First of all, every right that I have right now and every right that I have ever exercised as a person did not come from Stonewall, okay? They didn't come from Stonewall. It is bullying what you are. So, now I'm a bully. So, Peter, I'm a bully. I'm a bully for speaking my mind because of my own experience as an LGBTQ XYZ person, okay? I've been doing this for 51 years, okay? I have my own experience, okay? And I don't need a textbook and I don't need a community or a cult to tell me what to think because I know what I see. I know what I experience. And I don't owe anything to anybody other than myself. I made it to 51 through all the bad shit that I have dealt with in my life. And I still have the nerve to do this after I was beat up, ridiculed, and my own community kicking me out of the so-called community, which is a cult. Okay. So I don't owe it to anybody other than myself. Okay. You can go ahead and you can give all your power over to a cult and some mythology about the LGBTQ community. You can go right ahead. Okay. And I won't put you down for it. Go right ahead. And you think I'm bullying? Who am I bullying? Who did I bully? You? Am I bullying you, Parker? Huh? Is that what I'm doing? Am I bullying you? Huh? Or did I ruin your day? Did I ruin it? I was a fan of yours until now because really? Wait a minute. Hold up. You weren't a fan of mine. You weren't Parker, honey, don't think for 1 minute. Don't think for 1 minute I'm going to give one single shit that you were a follower or a fan of mine. No, you weren't. You weren't a fan or a follower of mine. Because if you were, you wouldn't be surprised with what I'm saying. That's why, okay? So don't give me that bullshit, okay? And do you want to know something else, sweetheart? I can shut this down anytime I want and not look back, okay? I don't need your validation. I don't need your following. I don't need anything from you, Parker. You can leave anytime you want. You really can. In fact, I don't even know who the hell you are. In fact, if you're such a fan of mine, how come I'm just realizing that there's someone named Parker here? Just stop it. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Take that to a RuPaul drag queen. Okay. They'll be devastated. Okay. Oh, thank you, Blaze. James Steele says, I don't need your validation, Parker. Again, I don't need you, okay? Please, Please stop gracing me with your presence and leave. Okay, I have a friend that grew up next to the Stonewall. Been there many times. I marched for rights for years. Now we have them and just need to hold the line, not just keep evolving into something else. Oh, no, honey, James, it's all about being treated special. That's all it is. You know what it is? It's all about revenge. Greta, thank you so much. It's all about revenge. I see that. No, I want power. I want revenge because all these people hated me and didn't accept me for years. So what? So what? You know, that's really how. Hey, wow. What have I missed? You sound mad. No, Parker can't handle a discussion. Well, yeah, like he's going to threaten me. Parker's going to threaten me. Honey, please. I didn't even know who you were. I didn't know who you were. Like, okay, Greta Hansen Money, right? Greta Hansen Money hasn't interacted with me in a while, but I always knew who she was, okay? I've always known who Greta is, and I'm seeing her today, okay? The thing is, Parker, I've never seen you, ever. Never seen you. Dead naming is the use of a former name of a transgender non-binary without the person's consent. Now, just all you normal people out here, regardless if you're trans, gay, or whatever, honestly, if someone said to you, okay, I know that if I went out looking like this in public, I would make people very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And I know why. Because I have a hairy chest. I have a wig on that's clearly to look like a female hair. I'm wearing these eyelashes, which are traditionally a female trait. I'm wearing lipstick, which is traditionally a female trait. And this isn't just in the United States. This is universal, okay? I have the body of a man, but the aesthetic of a woman, okay? I am prepared that when I go out, I may be called him or sir. I might be called her or ma'am. Why would I get mad? Like, why would I get angry? I don't get it. Like, and why would I even get hurt by it? How could I even be hurt? Because I am going out looking like this. It's all to destroy the family unit. But it's like, once I leave my house, I can't control what's outside, okay? I can't control what's outside. I have to either have to conform to what's outside, or I have to be a big enough person to live my life. That's it. And I have to be strong enough to leave. It's actually a luxury to be able to go out and look any way you want and not have an opinion thrown at you. I mean, if you're making you are expressing yourself in a certain way. Now, when I'm out there and I'm not looking in a mirror, I'm not looking at myself, okay? I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm interacting with them, not me. They have to look at this. Those people have to look at this. And do you think that they have no right to an opinion at all? And you don't think that they have the right to make a mistake? It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. If somebody misgendered me and called me a he or her or whatever I felt like that day, because there are people like that. I'm a man today, I'm a girl tomorrow, okay? You don't have the right to force them into playing a name game. I mean, how arrogant is that? How self-centered is that? That I would go out like this and get mad if someone called me sir. I'm not presenting as a man or a woman. I clearly have everything without the paint and the wig tells everybody I'm a man. I'm supposed to assume that this wig, these eyelashes, and this lipstick is now going to get me called the privilege of being called a woman? I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. People need to grow up. You need to grow up. If you are upset that someone mistakes your gender because you're confusing the person in front of you, you're an asshole. That's what you are. You're an asshole. I would see you and say, rock on with your bad self, but that's just me. But Melissa, this is the thing. You would, I know, and there are people out there, you know what, and I'm willing to say that there's a good majority of people who don't give a shit. They just don't, okay? And I think a lot of this is blown out of proportion. But the thing is, yeah, people would make mistakes. I have, of course. Now, Melissa would completely support it. But how does she know? How does she know what I want to be called? She doesn't know that. And the majority of people, vast majority of people, that if you said, I want you to call me her, they would do it. Whether they liked it or not, they would be respectful. And they have the right to their own opinions, right? But it's like, come on. I'm an adult. My days of playing make-believe ended at 40, right? Was it peace, freedom? Is it slavery, ignorance, or strength? When I'm dressed as Barbara, everyone knows I'm a man. However, when I'm out day to day, even while wearing a beard, I get misgendered. It's just, I don't know. I think, honestly, we pay this too much mind. We do. I think good people are finding themselves really in a trap. I think a lot of you people are in a trap because you may have gay, you may be heterosexual, cisgendered people, biologically born people who identify with their birth sex and gender. And you may have a gay kid, you may have a trans kid, a spouse, whatever. Okay. But good people who have been just decent people their whole lives are really being tested right now. And I think it's really sad. I think it's really, oh, Copper Czar, you're so sweet. The more that you actually try to understand it, the more that you give these people power over your language and your honesty, really. I mean, because let's put it this way. I know damn well I'm a Gen X gay who is firmly in your camp. I find you so refreshing. Next time you're in Chicago, Illinois, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. But the more they keep you engaged in this back and forth and fight and conversation, they're really just trying to exhaust you. And honestly, a lot of these people have nothing better to do. They really don't. Because let's be honest, if you sit around and if all you do is think about your hair, your mate, well, there are women who do this. But if you think about your gender all the time, if you try to pinpoint and identify your exact gender, which could be one of a billion things or a blend of several, these people they're really advantaged people. They are. They sit around. Like, how many of us really spent the time to sit around and think about exactly what our gender is or what we liked? I mean, I get that there are people out there who are mostly heterosexual who might find somebody attractive in their own camp, I mean, I know there are men, and men won't admit, a lot of men won't admit it, but now more as time goes on, they admit it. There are men that I've met who are heterosexual who said, well, God, if I was gay, I'd certainly have sex with that guy. So I understand there's a sliding scale of attraction to sex or whatever, but that's just what it is. It's like, why can't you just leave it there? Why? It's like they're constantly, what do they just sit at home? Their parents are supporting them and they just sit at home and watch these videos and try to figure out which unique gender they are or whatever they can come up with. Like, is that just really what all people do now? I don't get it, because it's hard for me to think that if these people were in school, and if they were really working towards something, or if they had a family to take care of, or if they had a job, you wouldn't be sitting around thinking about this shit. I don't know. Once you hit back at them, they don't know what to do and they break down. They say we're oppressors as they oppress us. Right. Honey, they want to oppress you. It's all about revenge. I'm telling you, it's all about revenge. And you know what? Oh, thank you, Maverick Spirit. Some trans people are dicks, lame. Right. See, and that's the thing. A lot of gays are the same. Trust. There's a lot more gay dicks I've met than heterosexuals. I mean, literally and figuratively. But anyway, just because you're not just the average Joe doesn't mean you can't be an asshole. There are lots of assholes in the community, trust me. Some are not. Just like any group of people does. Right. Exactly. Who, your sex, gender, whatever, does not mean you are or not an asshole or a piece of shit. There are lots of piece of shits out there. Anybody who missed it, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this video. Here we go.
This is kind of scary because I only realized this a couple of days ago and I've only come out to a few people. I'm a guy. I use he, they pronouns and I'm going to go by Theo. Yeah. I told my mom today and I have to go home every day and be called my dead name and have she, her pronouns used every time I go home. And no one realizes how hurtful it is. It's like a slap in the face. And I dyed my hair last night so I could feel more masculine, and I was afraid I was going to get thrown out of the house. We love you, Theo.
So my point is, everybody's there for Theo. Everybody's there to hear Theo's story about how Theo dyed their hair to be more masculine and how Theo just told his mother yesterday that Theo is a man and not a girl. And we're all supposed to feel sorry or whatever for Theo. But where is Theo's mom going to go for support? Theo was surrounded by love and other people like him. So where's the mom going to go? And where the mom goes to get support, where will the community support that? Like, what's the mom supposed to do? The mom, basically what she said was, my name is Theo now. I have, the person who existed before me is dead. Okay. My dead name. Now my mother is going to call me my dead name, which is Theo just decided 3 days ago they were Theo. Okay. So the mom now has to completely take all of this information in, forget about the past years of caring for their daughter and their little girl and bonding and relating to this person as a girl. Theo has just decided, I'm a boy. And then is making their mother look bad because now my mom is going to call me by my dead name and a gender that isn't me. And it's like, what do you expect? Like what do you expect? Like some kind of Disney princess or prince story? Like what do you expect? I mean, the woman who gave birth to you has taken care of you all these years. You're going to go on camera and basically shit on them and tell everybody what a horrible person they are because they're going to call you by your birth name. You do remember that person gave birth to you. Okay. That person knows you. That person named you. That person fed you obviously very well. And it's like, then you're going to have the nerve to like make your mom out to be a bad person for possibly not accepting you as Theo. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't wait to see all these transform snap back into. Well, they do, and not all of them, Mister. But there has been even, in fact, one of the pioneers, who was one of the first transgender people, has actually detransitioned. If you just look at YouTube, and I'm not saying, you know what, and I'm going to tell you, I feel really bad for you parents. I really do. Because nobody really thinks about what you're going through. They only think about what that other person is going through. They never think about what you're going through. And inevitably, if you just cannot come to terms with it, you're labeled a bad guy. You're a bad guy. And they think it's absolutely okay to do that. The megaphone says it all. They want their business to be everybody. Yeah, out in public. Out in public. He found himself. Hold on. He found himself. If his mother isn't going to respect him and his pronouns, that's her issue. It's rude to call No, Kate. What's your name, Caitlin? Caitlin, it's not rude. Okay, you say it's rude to call a trans person their dead name. Caitlin, that isn't a person. That's a mom. Okay? That's a mother. Do you have any children? How old are you? Do you have any children at all? I want you to imagine, Caitlin, Nicole. Okay. You are a pregnant person, and you're a birthing vessel, okay? You're a birthing person, and you chest feed a child for years, okay? And then you diaper them, and you clothe them, and you take care of them. You educate them the best you can. You give them the best home and upbringing that you can. For years. You bond with them on a certain level as a certain person. And then what? In 15 years, whatever, this person decides, yo, mom, my name is Theo, and you will call me Theo from now on. And your daughter is dead. You now have a son. You don't think that has any impact on that mother at all? Or, I'm sorry, that birthing person at all? Like, nothing? Is that birthing person supposed to say, oh, okay, hi, Theo, how are you? Like, do you, in your fairy tale land, is that how it's supposed to work out? Okay. If you're so fragile that you can handle being called your birth name, right, maybe you need help. That's right. That's right, Caitlin. If Theo gets called Thelma, because everybody has called him Thelma for what? That person looked to be about 18, at least 18, or if not older. So you've been called this name for 18 years. You're used to this name, and everybody knows you as that name. You don't think that it might slip out? You don't think, you're expecting this person to really rewire everything in their brain about their relationship and how they relate to you. How about this, Caitlin? How about you just, if you're dead now, if that's your dead name, why don't you die? Why don't you disappear, move to a new town, and have a new identity? If it's that important to you, why not do that? Hi, Evan D. And Caitlin, I'm going to tell you this. All through school, I was called a faggot, okay? Do you think that's worse or better than being called Jim? I was called faggot. That was my name all through school, okay?
Sorry.
I got over that. What's up, Marquina?
Look at that. Yes, I did.
Oh, my God, I love
Yes,
you. Marquina just brought me, like, my favorite drink from, oh, my God, this place. It's a strawberry. It's a frozen strawberry lemonade with, like, real strawberry in it. Oh, my God, I love it. Thank you. Okay, wait. He found himself. Oh, okay. We already read that. Was there more? Was there something else that Caitlin says? I'm not expecting anything, LOL. I'm just saying most parents don't accept their children in any. Okay, Caitlin, then we should be used to it, right? Should be used to it. Of course, your parents. I mean, come on. Of course, we expect things from our children. Of course, you expect things from your dog, right? You expect your dog to love you and think that you're everything. Marquina is the best. Some trans then call themselves faggot now as an endearing term. Well, me and Marquina use the word all the time. Marquina uses the N-word all the time.
We don't need it endearingly, though.
We don't need anybody to police our language. We are grown-ups, and we know what to say at the appropriate times, and we will say what we want at the appropriate times. Okay. Yes, Marquina is super. They will say that I have issues, and it's a cop-out. I got told I was a drug dealer because I have a tattoo. Okay, Caitlin, who told you that? Was it someone of value? Was it someone that you love? Was it someone that's like life or death in your life? I mean, really. I mean, do you know, this is how I know. You know, it's so funny because this is how I know things are getting better in the world. People are complaining about being called a different name than what they are. Like, this is really their struggle in life. If your struggle in life is you want to be called Jane after you've been called Jim for 30 years, and that is your struggle, then you know what? You've had a great life. You've had a great life. I'm sorry, but these people are not getting any sympathy at all from me. I am a mother, and I would be devastated if my son told me he was trans. I would get over it. Right. There you go, Kristen. I think Kristen is probably a very realistic and I think a very common experience. I think it's a very common thing. I am a mother, and I would be devastated. Of course you would. Of course you would. Imagine you had a son. I don't know anything about your son, but suppose you have a son, you know, who is always, you know, a boy and wrote, you know, did all typical boy stuff. You would never even assume anything. And then one day they just say, hey, Mom, I'm a girl. And from now on, you're going to call me Sally. Is that woman, is that mother supposed to have any feeling at all? Or is she just, or is she just a birthing vessel? Is she just a chest feeder? Is that what she is? She has no feelings. She has nothing. Like, she's not allowed to even mourn the death of her son, because that's what's going on. You have basically taken her son away from her, and now on Christmas or whatever, a woman is going to, or a man that's dressed like a woman is going to be walking through the door, and now we're supposed to call her Sally and pretend that she's just Sally, and everybody in there is just going to pretend as everybody's opening up their presents, and it's like you don't care if you put that layer of uncomfortability on your family. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too respectful of other people. I don't know. It's like I can still be strong enough to be me and still have enough room to be very respectful about other people's feelings. So yes, what Kristen might do is she would accept, because of course you don't want to lose your child. You don't. You're already losing a piece of them. You don't want to lose everything, okay? So now you have this desperate mother who's trying to cling on to anything, and it just creates a big, awkward relationship. So she's going to pretend that you are no longer the son. You are now a daughter. Trust me, it's all a pretend act. All for you, okay? Because that woman knows who she raised. She knows what she gave birth to, okay? And now you're going to present this new person to them? No, you're an asshole. Kristen and women like Kristen deserve respect, and they deserve the space to accept this in any way that they decide to, okay? And chances are they're just going to pretend, okay? So if that's the way you want to live your life, that's great. Go right ahead. But just know what you have done. We all make decisions daily that affect other people's lives. We do. You make a wrong left turn and someone's going to hit you and you can kill their whole family. Everything you do can determine what somebody else's life is going to turn out like. So just think about that. Did I get rid of Kitty? We are one. Most trans boys have huge cocks. Robert, that's just what you see in the porn. Convincing parents to you change gender would be a pretty wild prank. But see, the thing is, that wouldn't even be a prank you could do nowadays, because then you would be transphobic for just pretending. Oh, you're laughing at us. You're laughing at what we go through. How come nobody laughs anymore? Like, you know, does anybody laugh anymore? It's like, I'm crude and I'm controversial and I ride the fine line of race and sexuality to create controversy, to be funny. Does anybody laugh anymore? Like, what the hell is funny anymore? Yeah, comedy's dead. It totally is. So trans people are assholes. Yeah, Caitlin, yes. Trans people are assholes. Heterosexual people are assholes. Assholes come from everywhere, okay? Do you think that there are no transgendered assholes? Is that what you're saying? Well, you're saying so trans people are assholes? Well, let me ask you, there aren't any? I'm just reversing the questions. Are there any transgender assholes? I laugh all the time. If I didn't laugh, right, Jamie? I don't know what to call you anymore. I'm Hogatha. Yeah, because words are violence. You guys, okay, so yeah, we all know I'm an old lady, okay? In my day, violence was a physical act, okay? So you actually had to lay your hands on someone and hurt them for it to be called violence, okay? So now we've redefined that, and now we've added words. So we've decided that pre-violence is now violence. Because, of course, like before the violence would start, people would call you names and do things like that. And then the violence would happen, usually. Okay. So now we've decided the pre-violence is now violence. Okay. So what is going to happen? Okay. And so words that you say are violent. Okay. But now we've actually taken that a step further. Now the words you type. So typed out letters is now violence. Okay. But you know what's going to happen now? Thoughts. Your thoughts are going to be violence. Are we ever going to be able to read each other's thoughts? I don't know. But now we have decided that we went from violence being a physical thing to hurt another human has now turned into a verbal and a written thing. So when you write out words, you're potentially being violent. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Not that I know of, most want equality and respect, which they don't get. Caitlin, Caitlin, did you ever answer the question? Are there any trans people who are assholes? Wait, oh, you said not that you know of. So you don't think that a trans person can be an asshole. What do you think about Caitlyn Jenner? What do you have an opinion about Caitlyn Jenner and being a Trump supporter? Huh? Do you think Caitlyn Jenner's an asshole? And most want equality and respect. Honey, okay, do you even know what respect is? A lot of people don't know what respect is. But respect is something that you don't demand or ask for. Respect is something that you receive. Okay? And you receive respect when you earn it and deserve it. You don't get respect because you're trans, just like you don't get respect for being cis. You don't get respect for being gay. Those things don't earn you respect. Don't tell me you don't realize that or don't know that. Respect isn't something you automatically get just for existing. Like what is your understanding of what respect is? I feel really sorry for young people. I really, really do. My kids don't know what respect is. Respect is earned. You know what respect is? Respect is something that you can't help receiving. If you're a respectable person, people can't help but respect you. You're automatically just going to get it. Okay? That's just life. That's the way it is. If you carry yourself in a certain way that makes people respect you. See, you have to make people respect you by your actions. You don't make them respect you by twisting their arm. Your actions, your words, your deeds, your everything is what determines whether you get respect or not. It's that simple. It's actually a very simple concept. But you think, and you and many other people think it's something that people are withholding from you. No, you don't withhold respect from people, because if they actually deserve it, they will automatically get it. Respect is earned by good character, right? They just don't know what respect is. They don't know what respect is. No idea. And you know what that tells me? They are not respectful. I mean, I don't care if people respect me, obviously. Really? Do you have any hope for this? No, I don't. I have no, you know what, Greta? Do you have any hope for this LGBTQ community will change trajectory? No, it won't. They're like BLM. They only exist. They're honestly, the LGBTQ community, it's not a community. Because if it was, it would be all encompassing. You look at our communities, let's say the white community. Or no, well, I'm sorry, there is no white community. Let's say, I don't know. Hold on. The community only exists for political reasons. That's it. I am sipping on a strawberry lemonade that Marquina brought home to me, and I love it. Please sing Respect by Aretha Franklin. First appearances are everything, and we all judge each other initially. So yes, how you carry yourself will build your foundation of respect. Exactly. Right. I know whites are not allowed a community. Then do I see them self-imploding? No. Well, okay, this is what I see. And like people like me. See, I'm not the only. See, I hate saying that I'm LGBTQ, but that is the label that has been given to people like me. There is a community of people like me that are being more vocal and coming forward. And I know several of them, okay? And they're pretty hard-hitting people. So what it is it takes people to basically escape the flock and realize that these people aren't really here to support me. This is all a political agenda. And this isn't, it's just, hate is a big part of that community, okay? And I feel more accepted and loved and supported in the heterosexual community. Obviously, or I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I do, okay? I get a lot of support. And I can hang out with these people and not once talk about sex, not once talk about gender. And these people make me feel like a normal human being, honestly. So there are many gays like me who are coming out, and they are leaving the alphabet cult. And we are all meeting each other. See, the thing is, they make this alphabet cult blown out of proportion, and they make the average person think it's bigger than what it is. It isn't. It's very small. Okay? It's a very small community. And the media and politics or whatever, they want you to think it's bigger than what it is because it's just to gain power. Anyway, so a lot of people who were once part of that cult are breaking free from it and are all meeting each other through social media and events like protests and stuff. So this community, the rainbow community, doesn't like that this is happening. So, and you'll see some of like the comments in my thing. I often get called a self-loathing gay, which if I was self-loathing, I wouldn't be on here doing what I do and be so visible. Okay. They don't think about those things. SM says, I love you and Christopher and Blair White. You all speak your minds and you all make sense. Thank you. I was just at Chris's house the other day. Blair White is great. I've met Blair White. I like Blair White. Can you tell others the story of the pride flag? Well, from my understanding of what the pride flag is, it was actually, without me freshening my memory, if I understand correctly, Harvey Milk's friend came up with the pride flag, which was actually stolen. It's an appropriated flag, really. It's either means it's a peace flag or it's actually a Jewish flag. And then this friend of Harvey Milk decided to just assign the colors different: strength, love, peace, pride, whatever. And it's like, it's just a lie. It is not a pride flag. It was an appropriated flag. And if people want to talk about Harvey Milk being a gay hero, he was an openly gay mayor of San Francisco who had a teenage runaway boyfriend. They always forget to tell you that part. Okay, this hero, Harvey Milk, they now have days named after him, had a runaway gay boyfriend. I mean, a teenager. He was a teenager. And Harvey Milk was a grown man in his 30s. Nobody wants to talk about it. They won't talk about that. Oh, yeah, Milo. I'm very entertained by Milo. I am. He's just a fame whore. That's all he is. But I think he's entertaining. But the thing is, he's had to change his shtick because, he got in trouble. Politicians are the real gangsters, lawyers and judges too. No, he was a younger teenager than that. I went to a couple of protests at women's prisons for letting men in there after they simply self-ID. Do you guys want to know something? I went to jail for 5 days. It isn't recently. It was more than 10 years ago. I went to jail for 5 days. And I can't remember how I knew, and I think it's because I heard other guys talking within the cell, the holding cell I was in. They will separate gay people from heterosexuals in the jail, okay? And somehow during the intake process, I saw through the window of where they put the LGBTQ prisoners. Okay, because they will separate you if that's what you choose to do. I got one look in that cell and I decided there is no way I'm going in there. I'm going to say I'm a heterosexual. The drama. Okay. I just walked past it and I saw it. First of all, you see guys that are, with really thin eyebrows, with fake eyelash, like me, fake eyelashes on. You saw people in various degrees of gender, the way they're dressed and the makeup and the hair and all that. The one thing I noticed is they were all standing up. They were all angry and they were all pointing each other and they were all like trying to see who was like going to be the big man in the cell. They were all sizing up each other. And all I saw was drama and trouble. And when they asked me, so are you gay or straight? I said, I am a heterosexual man. Once I got into my cell, well, it was a dorm. I walk in there and I see all these like thugs and all these heterosexual, hardcore men. They just watch me as I walk in the cell. I get on my bed and I stay there for 5 days. No one bugged me. No one said, one person said a word to me. They said, why aren't you hanging out with the Peckerwoods, which are the white guys? I said, because I do not intend on staying here. And I didn't. I was there in 5 days. I was released, but it was peaceful. There was no fights. They were segregated. The blacks were on one side, the Hispanics on the other, and the whites in another. Yes, they did. They segregated themselves by race. But there was no way in hell I was going to deal with the drama of the LGBTQ tank. I was not doing it. In the UK, a famous TV presentator came out gay after being married for 20 years. The reasons why he did it were to distract from a questionable relationship had with a young boy. He wasn't canceled and called stunning and brave. Worst would be fear of rape, right? I mean, even though they were all the cell I was in was filled with a bunch of thugs, they had respect, right? They didn't like, come, they didn't step all over you. They didn't steal your toilet paper. They didn't do any of that. You guys, I am going to, I don't know if you guys know about her, and her name is Susan Mills. I am going to her house today, and I'm going to do another live from her place, okay? It's going to be my 4th of July live. Hi, Dante. How are you? So I'm going to go to, her name is Susan. I'm going to go hang out with her tonight. There are going to be fireworks where she lives, and I'm going to do a live from there. Did you get commissary? I didn't. No, I just, I did my 5 days. I ate their basic food, and then I was out. I was being held for questioning. Oh, I'm glad, Greta. I was being held for questioning when I was in jail. They never questioned me, so they released me. It was for a theft at a job that I had, and I will admit I did know that these guys stole something. I just didn't want to get involved. Besides, they were gangsters. But anyway, so I just looked the other way. And when the FBI got involved, they asked me, and I said, I know nothing about it. Well, they knew that I knew something about it, and they knew I wasn't being honest. So they said, oh, okay. Well, we're going to take you downtown, and we're going to hold you for 72 hours for questioning. Or I don't know, it was a 48. I don't remember. When did you go to prison? I went to jail. It was like, I'd say 15 years ago. There is a high chance Theo will decide to resurrect Thelma. Suicide is also incredibly prevalent among the transgender people. I wonder why. I don't know, and transitioning doesn't make it any better. But you guys, I'm going to go, but I'm doing great, Dante. Thank you. I'm going up the hill, and I'm going to be hanging out up there with a friend, and I'll do another live up there. Hi, Sonia. Yeah, you know what's so funny? Okay, I mean, yes, I did know that the theft went on. I did, and I should have told. But, what am I going to do? Get in trouble on the outside world? You know what I mean? Because these guys were pretty rough that I was not telling on. And so, I still never told them what I knew. Can we see Marquina one? Well, Marquina's in the garage. Happy 4th, Marie. Enjoy. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Susan's tonight. I'm going to do a live from there, and then tonight I'm going to leave and go to Mario's house, and I'm going to spend the 4th of July at Mario's, and I'll do a live there too. You did the right thing, Hoggy. I mean, besides, they were brown people. I couldn't have sent them to jail and been an evil, racist white person. Now, could I? Anyway. I'll tell you, it was a good experience going to jail for 5 days, to be honest with you. But anyway, okay, so you guys enjoy your 4th. I'm going to leave. I got to get ready to go to Susan's house, and then I'll see you in a couple hours, all right? I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.